Hello, and welcome to the Improving Implementation Learning Module series. This is session 5 of 6 and focuses on implementing reporting in the Comprehensive Behaviour Support Plan. Our rationale for this session is that provision of specialist behaviour support requires a range of formal communications to be prepared and tabled at specific intervals. In addition, all behaviour support plans should incorporate a range of communication approaches with the participant and stakeholders. And our objective is that learners will be able to plan key reporting timelines and identify where participant specific routine reporting should be planned for effective implementation. So let's recap on what our reporting obligations are as behaviour support practitioners under the NDIS. First of all, we have care team and stakeholder meetings, which we are required to attend and often lead. We need to notify formally our intent of prescribing restrictive practices and including restrictive practices, and we need to maintain the dialogue about the fade out of those. We need to maintain our person centered communication in a method that is supportive and encouraging of the person's choice and control, dignity, and quality of life. We know that we must provide regular support plans and working together documents that detail and create transparency in how we are allocating and using participant funds. And we need to update our functional behaviour assessment and our behaviour support plan at least annually, but more frequently in some cases, and that these update processes are ongoing and continual throughout the 12 months. We also need to provide progress reports at the end of our funding cycle to ensure additional funding cycles available and to make sure that the plan available for the person is adequate and effective. So we know that when we're implementing our reporting that the behaviour support plan is going to give us some indications of who we're going to be reporting to and what that looks like. Remember that we must connect our consultation stakeholders with the reporting. So we have to report to effectively the right people, but we also have to collect information from them. We need to make sure that our reporting takes into account the history of the interventions for the person. Make sure that we're recognising the person's goals and how we're achieving those. And we need to make sure we recognise that the implementation table identifies when our reporting is due and how we meet those obligations. So, some key considerations when you're implementing your reporting. First of all, report due dates are for Pro to upload. And historically, there has been a situation where clinicians have submitted reports on that date, but we know that there are a number of sequences and cycles that need to occur clinically to ensure that reports are accurate and ready to be uploaded. So allow for review and adjustment of reports and so ensure a significant lead time. Consider the delays that come from approval or feedback from supports of various stages. And this can actually impact on our reporting timelines if we're waiting for feedback, if we're waiting for input, if we're waiting for data. So think about what that might have to look like. Coincide your data collection and your stakeholder reporting with your deliverable dates so that you have the information you need well before you need to report it. So if your reporting is due in June, make sure that you have the stakeholder data well before June, perhaps April, to allow you time to allocate, to analyze, and to synthesize this. Work out your reporting from and to stakeholders early and set that in stone so that key dates are known to all stakeholders. Confirm the due dates, remind of the due dates so that people are keeping that uppermost in their mind. Remember that reporting has often been overlooked in behaviour support historically, right across the industry, but it remains a very, very important part of our obligation. Remember that the key dates for reporting are actually preset. They can be established from the outset of the behaviour support plan. We know when our behaviour support plan review is going to be required. We know that we have to update our FBA to confirm or disprove any of our hypotheses, any of our findings. So you want to set that in across the course of the year. Recognise your NDIS plan dates, remembering that that may end in the middle of a behaviour support plan or at any time. So plan your reporting accordingly to ensure that happens. It is possible that early plan reviews occur, but on the whole, generally it's a routine and systematic process. As I said earlier, your FBA updates should be planned throughout the process, and every interaction with the person or about the person should continue to add to that functional behaviour assessment. And remember that reporting can often take longer than expected. It's delayed by stakeholders, it's delayed by late submission of data, and many other things. So prepare for overruns of both your time and your cost in this. When planning out your subtasks, I've noted here some of the key significant subtasks that may be incorporated into your behaviour support plan. Some of these are unlikely to change, some of them are going to vary. So, when you're developing your reporting implementation, remove the ones you don't think are going to be valid and ensure that you understand which aspects give communication with stakeholders, which ones are obligated by the Commission, and which ones have set and flexible dates. In considering your timeframes and budgets for reporting, you can see that I've just attached the aspect that links to this from the implementation spreadsheet. It's actually very easy to set your deliverable date, then work backwards. We know when our reports are going to be due, so then we can work backwards with the amount of input that we're going to require to make those effective. Plan your recurring care team and stakeholder meetings at the time of BSP publication. Communicate them really clearly, and then everybody knows the amount of input that's going to be required to get the information that you need, but also that what the budget outlay is going to be from the behaviour support plan. Budget size is always a consideration with all of the aspects of implementation, and we know that it's going to impact on the time available for reporting. And at implementation planning stage, it's important to think about whether you're going to need a plan review or whether you're going to minimise things like care team meetings as much as possible. Does the behaviour support practitioner need to be at all of all the meetings that occur with stakeholders? Can there be a way of reporting to you? If you have a limited budget, you need to prioritise how this looks so that we make sure that we are accurately implementing all parts of our obligation. Online reporting, written reporting, technology is absolutely your friend here. And I've given an example here of how reporting times could be determined across a plan lifespan, noting that it creates quite a considerable input, but you would not necessarily want all of these as part of the work. We do find that one of the situations that occurs is that a clinician gets to the end of a behaviour support plan time and that there is not adequate funding available to rewrite the review to update the FBA. So that's why we must plan that out early. So to plan for reporting, the clinician should 1. Determine your plan priorities and size. How much is available for reporting? Who needs to report to whom in this particular care team? Remembering that we have often a great range of external stakeholders and that we have a lot of different priorities with the person. Make sure that you're apportioning the essential report budget first. We must update and review the behaviour support plan and functional behaviour assessment. We must put together a progress report so that the plan review can take place. Then we need to recognise when the NDIS plan rollover is scheduled. Do we need to have an impact on that? Do we need to review the change in the plan size for the person? What other data are we going to need to collect to report forward? We need to consider our information needed in order to prepare the reports. So we co-plan our data collection. And looking at some of the other aspects of implementation we've discussed in this series, consider your data collection design. Each component of implementation doesn't occur independently. Implementation occurs as 5 parts of one whole process. So look at the interactions between the data collection and analysis and the reporting requirements. Then assign your responsibilities and communicate your key due dates so that the supports, the team, the stakeholders understand their responsibilities, and also you have some transparency with the participant. Next steps in planning for your reporting. First of all, remember that each participant plan is going to require individual reporting tasks. Then determine the proportion of implementation budget that will be focused on reporting. Second, with your timeframes, get your spreadsheeting process or your Gantt process put together and begin with your reportable dates and work backwards. Coordinate the collection of your data and then apportion time for your report completion and assigning hour cost based on that. And for the clinician to plan, what reporting skills do I need? What do I understand? What do I need to develop? And also, how can I increase my productivity in report preparation? For new clinicians, report writing can be a significant investment of time for the participant. When we consider all of the concepts of implementation and all of the priorities in implementation, how do we make sure that report writing is using time really effectively? And seek your clinical guidance on that and develop your own CPD plans. There are a number of additional resources that help with understanding the reporting requirements in our micro learning library. So I encourage you to use these and also dip into the foundation induction module series, which has a number of focuses on how reports should look, the purposes of reports, and the way they should be written in terms of clinical writing. Thank you.